Today, we are going to discuss about digital and non-digital skills and tools in delivering technology-enhanced lessons. But before we formally start to the original topic, let us have first a short discussion for the introduction. Okay, first, teaching becomes rewarding when learners get the most from instruction as manifested in their performance. An important element in engaging learners is when the strategy used in delivering the lesson uses an instructional material. So obviously, the eagerness and enjoyment of the learners are transparent because they are guided accordingly. The next is these instructional materials may come in varied forms. One group refers to the conventional and non-digital tools. In reality, a classroom will always need a chalkboard or a writing board that may come in varied forms and shapes. Bulletin boards, flip charts, dioramas, puppets, terrarium, and the like will always find their significance in any classroom. However, nowadays, lessons can be made more relevant for engaging the learners as digital tools are integrated. In this lesson, we will be tackling about the development and use of non-digital or conventional materials. In here, the teachers need instructional materials to enhance teaching and learning. And these instructional materials have several rules in teaching and learning, which include the following. Number one, they promote meaningful communication and effective learning. Number two, they ensure better retention, thus making learning more permanent. Number three, they help to overcome the limited classroom by making the inaccessible accessible. Number four, they provide a common experience upon which late learning can be developed. And number five, they encourage participation, especially if students are allowed to manipulate materials to use. Instructional materials are the supplementary materials which help the teacher to make his/her presentation concrete, effective, interesting, meaningful, and inspiring. In any teaching and learning process, instructional materials play a vital role as they provide sensory experiences to the learners. The first one is diorama. It will make the classroom to be creative and innovative. It is a fun way to build an exciting scene in a small space. So diorama is used as a learning tool and help show of a student understanding of a certain subject matter. So diorama has a three-dimensional scene used to creatively express learning. The second one is nature table. So nature table contains objects and or scenes related to the current season or upcoming festival or a symbol of an ecosystem. So nature table allows the children to connect with the natural objects. So the third one is writing board. Writing board can display information written with chalk or special pens. So it is very important tools used by the teacher to facilitate learning. And the fourth one is the flip chart. So flip chart is a large tablet or pad of paper, usually in a tripod or stand. So the flip chart is a large pad of paper blank so that each page can be turned to reveal the use on a stand at presentation. So the next is zigzag board. So zigzag board is a multi-board series of 3 or 4 rectangular boards. So they are joined together along the sides by hinges so that they can be easily folded up and carried. So the advantages of the zigzag board is that it can be presented as more than one subject in one activity. So next is wall display. So displaying items in a classroom wall is a well-known, tried and tested educational method. So um, the wall display are important part in the classroom as they meet the room and create a better learning environment. In a classroom, the display can be consist of a student's own work. In development work, it can be used to convey information to the community. And last is roof and pole display board. So this board consists of two parallel horizontal poles tied loosely together with roof. So um, display board can be very useful to the teacher because they can attract attention or they can provide information for students, and also they can use during session or workshop. And and that's all the 7 use of instructional materials of non-digital and conventional materials. So, in the following guidelines when developing conventional instructional materials, it should be done through number 1, unity. Use only one idea for each visual aid and include a headline. So in designing instructional materials, it should be uniform, well-ordered, scratches to avoid messy and unorganized visual aids. Number 2 is simplicity. Make sure ideas and relationships simple and easy to recall. Avoid cluttering a visual with too many words, numbers, or graphics. The audience should be able to grasp the concepts in 10 to 15 seconds, so it must be direct to the point. Next one is legibility. Make letters big and readable for all in the audience. Of course, make sure that your IMS or instructional materials are readable from the distance where the audiences are. Next is consistency. Use the same type style and art style. So in here, you must still grasp the same type style and art style to keep tracks to the original art. Last one is clarity. Avoid type that is too small to read. Avoid all caps. So it must be clear and use letter appropriately. And that would be all today. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you learned something from me. Keep safe and God bless.